Hello and welcome back to another episode of Great Lakes Post live stream. I'm Casey Campbell. Thank you for tuning in. Apologies for technical difficulties. We got those fixed. Austin Cindric's joining us right now, as of course our very special guest today, because all guests are special. Austin, how are you, man?
Doing great. How are you doing, Casey?
I am doing fantastic. Of course, Austin, you're getting ready for a doubleheader this weekend at Richmond. How excited are you for that? And as we close in on the playoffs.
Yeah, obviously having a doubleheader at Richmond's really fun. Two different races. We got the night race as well as the day race on Saturday. So that was a really good track for us last year. A good track for me and my team. So hopefully we can take advantage of that and have a great weekend.
Just talk about several of the things going into the season with, the point standings. You're the points leader so far, 5 wins on the year. Overall, a pretty good year for you in Team Penske.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, leading the points. I mean, for us at the beginning of the year, our number one goal was regular season points championship. So that's the most you can control. That's the most versus there are throughout the year. So from that, it's doing whatever we can to make the championship for. So trying to collect those left points, trying to maximize on the days that we have the best car, and try and make the most of the days when we're not at our best. So we've been doing a great job of that lately, and hopefully we can keep moving forward into the playoffs.
There's not a lot of Fords in the Xfinity series. It's just you and Chase Briscoe. Of course, you guys were teammates, and of course, you guys have had some. How do I explain this? You haven't agreed on some things throughout the year. What's the relationship been like, with him? I know you guys aren't teammates, but you guys are manufactured teammates. So and of course you were teammates when you guys were at BKR in the truck series. But what's the relationship like between you guys?
Well, Chase and I are good friends off the track, and I'd say 90% of the time we race each other really respectfully, and have a lot of fun racing with him. Obviously, things are definitely going to ramp up as the year gets on here. But I think there's some days where we definitely race each other harder than anyone else, just because we're good friends. I mean, in some ways we race each other a bit like brothers, and in some days that means we're working together and trying to benefit just the Ford brand, but at the same time, we're also racing each other for a championship. So can't really give an inch. So it's definitely an interesting dynamic. But he and I have really come up through the NASCAR race together, learned a lot from each other, and I'd love to see that relationship moving forward. Hopefully we can do the same together, racing on Sundays one day.
And of course, obviously your last name sounds very familiar because of your rich history. Of course, your dad is Tim Cindric. Of course, high-level executive with Team Penske, and also is the strategist for Joseph Newgarden in the IndyCar series. You've been around racing all your life, and I'm sure that's what got you into this and, wanted to do this yourself. But you come from a background of road racing. How exciting was that, and what got you into all the road racing, IMSA stuff?
So I started my career racing Bandoleros and Legends cars, which is what a lot of guys who go the NASCAR route start in. And from there, it's late models to K&N to obviously the National Series. So for me, I definitely took a non-traditional route to kind of get back to where I started. After Legends cars, it wasn't that I didn't have an interest racing in NASCAR. It's just I felt like there's more opportunities and different opportunities, especially more challenging things to do when you're 14, 15 years old. So from there, I went open wheel racing, did a lot of road racing, did some rally racing, and through there, I got a relationship with Ford racing sports cars, and that relationship really butted into a few one-off opportunities to do some ARCA races, and those went probably a lot better than expected, and that turned into a couple opportunities to do truck races, and that turned into a full season, and obviously that snowballed into where I'm at today. So between that relationship and obviously I've gotten a lot of support from Mr. Penske throughout the years, and I wouldn't be here without the support from him, and as well as Ford Performance. So it's happened really fast. It was never the direct plan, but as far as my career, I've always thought it's just as difficult to make it as a race car driver in any discipline. So beggars can't be choosy. So I've gone where the opportunities have been, and it's been a fun ride to drive a lot of different race cars.
I know that I know that you did not get to go to the Indy 500 this year. I know that's kind of like a yearly tradition for you. I know you were racing in Dover, but what was it like not being there?
So a lot of people didn't get to go to the Indy 500 this year. So I guess I'm not alone in that respect. I guess it was kind of funny because we got done with the race in Dover, and the 500 had probably was 50 laps into the race by the time our race was over in Dover. And we got back to the media center. I think Chase had won the race, and we both sat down in the media center when we were waiting our turn, and we're watching the race, trying to figure out the strategy. Like, I don't think we spoke a word about the race. So I definitely have a lot of passion for that event. I've got a lot of family history with that event, and hope to be able to be back there one day. I mean, I hadn't missed one since I was like 2 years old, so it's kind of been a family tradition for us to get the four of us, my mom, my brother, and my dad, all kind of in the same place and kind of enjoying the event for what it is, and obviously rooting on the Team Penske cars.
Austin, where do you see yourself next year? I know that the topics of conversation has been where does Austin Cindric go next year? Do you see yourself running the Xfinity series, or do you see yourself maybe going to the Cup Series? And where I know you want to be with Team Penske and stay within the Ford brand, but where do you want to be next year, Austin?
Yeah, I think for me, the more I've talked and understood where the landscape of the NASCAR community is, whether if that's within our team or within other teams, everyone's just trying to get to the end of the year, which makes talking about 2021 very difficult right now. But at the same time, you have to start planning for the future. And like you said, I'm very happy with the group of people that I'm working with. I think I have an exceptional race team that's been built around me over the last couple of years, and I really love working with those guys. And at the same time, that relationship with Ford, like you mentioned. So I'd love to be able to continue to work with that group and obviously stay within the Ford family. But just as I said earlier, going where the opportunities go, I think for my driver development, I think the best thing for me is to be racing against the best guys in the longest races. And I think that's my next step in my development as a race car driver, as a NASCAR driver. So if there's an opportunity to make that step, I think for me, it makes a lot of sense. But as everyone knows, those opportunities are hard to find and hard to come by, and timing is everything.
One last quick question. Preview this weekend at Richmond. What's it going to be like out there? Running double headers. I know you've done that before, but what is it going to be like for you to run the bit of double headers? And do you like that? And do you think you could see more of that heading into next year? And overall, just preview the race.
I love the double headers. I mean, a lot of the sports car racing I did when I was racing sprint races in 2016, we had double header, triple header weekends every weekend. So I love doing that. I think it's great to learn more about your cars. I think it's great for the fans because they get bang for your buck being there. But overall, I think besides the traditional challenges of Richmond, that's tire fall off, long runs, obviously short track racing, close racing all the time. The first race, I think the biggest challenge is we got the 54 car with Kyle Busch in the field. Being able to combat that in that race, I think it's going to be challenging. I think it's probably going to be the most challenging aspect. You can't count him out whenever he's entered. So I think it'll be a lot of fun to figure out what it's going to take to be able to beat him. And then in the Saturday race is a day race. I personally have never done a day race at Richmond. So understand the offsets for that and what we can learn from the race prior and apply that while still obviously offsetting for hotter conditions when the sun's up.
All right. Austin Cindric, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck the rest of the season, and come back on. We'd love to have you back on again.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Casey.
All right.